and welcome to another episode of Just Saying With. And today we're just saying with Mong, one of Singapore's, most influential people. Now, Mong, you only have, a paltry sum of 260,000 followers.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. It's something that just anybody can do, right?
Yeah, sure. Anybody can do that. You're right, actually. Yeah.
What was your influencer journey? How did you begin?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mong, first of all. I'm otherwise known as Mongabong on the internet. And it started off in 2014, when I was still schooling in SMU. I was like a student, and I started out first with blog shop modeling. So I modeled for a lot of blog shops as kind of like an extra income as a student. I was just like kind of trying to support myself and doing it part-time. And that was also when Instagram first started. So everyone kind of had an Instagram account just to document like pictures, share with your friends. And what I did was, on top of it being my visual diary for my friends to see, these blog shops that I was modeling for, they would also give me clothes as a form of like saying thank you. And I would just tag them whenever I wear them, whenever I wore them out. And that was kind of how it started, off of me being kind of like a fashion influencer of sort, and beauty is definitely my first love. So it kind of like just went on from there. I just started sharing more about fashion, and then beauty, and then my life and my family and my friends and stuff like that. So that's how I started.
Right. And okay, so to my understanding, you studied accountancy.
Yes.
Right? But then you went into fashion and beauty. When did you realize that, I've become a bit of an expert? Or how did you, gather that kind of knowledge to go,
right,
I can talk about this now?
Right. Honestly, I look up to a lot of bloggers at the time. So back then, bloggers were like the thing, right? So I used to be such a fangirl, like just reading all these blogs all the time. And I'm always very thankful to them, because as a poor student, I needed to know what are the good things to buy without having to spend like too much money. I don't want to risk buying something that I won't use or it wasn't suitable for me. So I spent a lot of time researching to make sure that these products were like widely talked about and highly rated by all these bloggers. And I really like having this kind of connection like with someone that I've never met online, and I wanted to do the same as well. Firstly, it started off with like giving recommendations to my friends, because I was honestly quite I really like beauty things. I love beautiful things. I like to make myself look beautiful. So I was super into makeup, super into beauty stuff like from the very beginning, and my friends would always come to me for recommendations simply because I owned a lot of all these things already. Yeah, so and I was just thinking like, instead of them always having to like message me, why not I just put it on my Instagram? Like when I like something, I'll just put it there so that more and more people can see it, and that was how it started. I wouldn't really say I'm an expert because I'm still learning, and honestly, there are so many different products these days, and formulations keep changing, and you really just have to keep up with the times.
Yeah, sometimes it kind of feels like you have to be a bit of a chemist as well to understand, right?
Yes, I'm always researching on ingredients, like,
Yeah, so I think that's important to know that, you keep on having to learn about your chosen field.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
In the sense of beauty, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more that goes into beauty. I mean, you've got the chemical aspect of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are advocates for even the ethics side of beauty.
Right. Yeah.
So now, when you began, you said Instagram first came up. Right. We've got so many social media platforms today.
Yes.
So, is anyone too late to join?
Of course not. Honestly, like I think social media is such an important part of everyone's lives now. Like even my parents are on social media. My parents are even on like the latest like platforms like TikTok, even, and that's a good sign. I feel like people realize that they cannot do without, and people are just consuming their information more from social media these days compared to like traditional media, I feel. And it's just different now. Like people's attention spans are shorter, people like more visual things now. It just caters to whatever is your own preference, and there are many platforms out there that you can like look to.
Right. and you're bringing your whole knowledge and your success story to be a mentor for the Eco Beauty Squad campaign by TheFACESHOP. Right. So tell us a little bit more about this campaign and what can people expect from it.
Right. So right now we are, encouraging people to sign up and having me on board as a mentor. Firstly, it's extremely exciting for me because, like I mentioned, I came from accountancy.
Yeah.
So I kind of dived into this as my full-time job without actually having the comfort of like studying it for years or even like practicing it or or anything. So back then, if I look back, like I would definitely have appreciated this opportunity. If it existed back then, it would definitely have helped me a ton because I had to really figure out everything on my own, what worked, what didn't. I had to really even like YouTube, like Google, like video editing, like how to cut a video. I had to do all these things by myself. So, of course, with the Eco Beauty Squad competition and having me on board as a mentor, I would love to be able to share my personal tips, my secrets, my lessons learned from doing this full-time for 4 years. I mean, it doesn't only have to be how to take good pictures, how to apply your makeup properly. It can even be things like, how do you carry yourself well in front of a camera? How do you speak well? How do you put your points across and be concise rather than blabber on? How do you approach clients? How do you, and things like that. So, yeah, I think there's a lot more aspects to what people see, influencers or content creators, like on the outside. And I hope to be able to educate as well, to let people know that it's not just what you see. Yeah.
I think you're very right in the sense that it's more than the technical aspects of content creation, but also about creating that story of who you want to portray to your public, right?
Yes.
What would you say is, especially because social media changes so much, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges that aspiring influencers would face today compared to maybe when this
When I
first
first
began?
started, right? Definitely the biggest challenge would be competition. Really, I would say I got lucky because I started at a time where the platform was very new. So everyone was in it together. Everyone was like kind of trying, together, and nobody really saw it as a job. But now more and more people are, seeing this as a potential career path, and people are really stepping up their game. And like it's getting harder to stand out from the crowd. It's getting harder to be noticed. But that's not to say you can't, because we still see many successful younger content creators. They come up with amazing creative like content that they put out all the time. So I would say competition is extremely tough right now.
And so for the Eco Beauty Squad campaign, who would you say would be the ideal candidate?
Right. So maybe I would say like what I would look out for, right? In a ideal candidate. Of course, someone who dares to take on the challenge, someone who dares to step out of his or her comfort zone, someone that is creative, because we're looking for quite a number of like people to sign up, and you need to stand out from the crowd. And I'm not gonna tell you how to stand out, because if I tell you, then everyone would do the same and you wouldn't stand out anymore. So just be creative, be yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Like, be yourself and let your personality show through, even though it could just be like flat lace. But if you have a certain style, and if you're consistent about it, that all these things really will push you further.
Right. Do you think there's any particular age group, or you said guys or girls, doesn't matter, right?
Anyone, literally. No matter young or old, really. Yeah. It's not too late. It's never too late.
Great. That's amazing to hear. Thank you very much, Mong.
Thank you.
The TheFACESHOP's Eco Beauty Squad campaign is now running, and it's looking for entry. So if you feel that you want to join this campaign, please do so with the details flashed below.